always have legs in the third period?
Yeah, I mean, the long answer for that starts with Bill Zito and bringing in a whole performance group with Dr. McClelland and then Mike Joyce and we have other people that kind of work back and forth between the medical team and the team performance guys just for recovery and things like that. So we think at least the goal is for us to be pushing the envelope on how to recover hockey players, because the conditioning and the hard work part has been who they are for 2 years. I mean, they've starts at day one in camp for us, and they worked harder than the coaches asked them to. So we always come back to the players being the key driver in this.
Front left.
Paul, you know, when a team loses in the final, it can feel like, wow, it took so much to get here. How can we possibly get? It's such a long road to get back. You're one win away from that. How do you, I guess, what's the approach to that when it's now so tangible within grasp that you can be back in the final and get that chance at it again?
I mean, the question of how I thought we would come out was really, truly, again, answered the first 5 days. They came back to training camp, work harder than I asked them to. But we also had it was a good feeling, good room. We knew we have a good team. And then we have these 3 guys out of our lineup, 3 really important guys out of the lineup. So there's not the certainty. And I would understand it. I think we were a little better hockey team than people knew last year. And then we improved in ways that you probably couldn't see early on because of the injuries. So from January of a year ago to now, we played pretty darn well. So there's a belief coming back. And then I think a big part of it was what management did to our team, Nico Mikkola. So we signed him, and he comes in, he fills that hole and then some, and becomes part of the top almost 2 for 15, 16 games. So we did a really good job here of adding what we needed, specifically the kind of player, style of player, and the holes that needed to be filled. So I think that we've had a belief, but even with that, I mean, every series that we've been in, and this one may be more than any of them, incredibly tight, right? There's no momentum. So last year, I would say kind of I don't know that there was any momentum coming off going to the final last year. There wasn't a loss, but there wasn't necessarily, hey, we're riding high. They earned it. These guys have earned it.
Front right.
Coach Vlad Tarasenko was really noticeable in the defensive end last game. What have you seen from him from that aspect of it throughout the playoffs, and how important is that for him to have that aspect?
Incredible. And I don't know if this is a stereotype, but it seems to me, maybe it was because of the time that I spent over in Russia, like the Russian players in the Russian schools of hockey are very aware defensively. They play a possession game over there. So if you get the puck, we see the dynamic Russian players here. But there's also another team defending, and you do for stretches of time. So it's not the quick strike game back and forth. So these guys learn how to defend, how to angle, how to use their stick. And he's really, really good at that. I think that's possibly, I mean, I've seen him score goals against us, and I've seen him shoot the puck. But the first thing I appreciated about him was his reaction from offense to defense. Not even his, if he lost control of a puck, somebody else did. Where he moves first, how fast he moves. You tell where a guy's brain is and how he views the game by his first reactions off a change of possession, and he's all been really, really good with that.
Front left, Mike.
Paul, I was curious just how long it took you to get over last year's final, because it was 21 years for you, and you know how hard it is to get back here, and for you now to be sitting in this chair again, a win away. And in context of you saying a couple of weeks ago how nervous you were about this season just with all the injuries coming in, like how just gratifying is this, and how long did it take you to get over?
I got an answer for that because I remember it. The summer was very, very fast. Kind of bouncing back from, I don't know if sadness is the right word, but know how hard it is to get there and a missed opportunity, but also somewhat peaceful because I don't think there was anything left of our team. Anyway, it changed for me when I started prepping training camp video for next year. So we would we do our systems video every day when we start teaching, and you start going back and watching the games. So we only use playoff for our training camp video, and that's when I got in a good mood. You start to remember the plays, the effort, all that, but the people, right? How to drive the net. Well, that's the Radko Gudas clip, Game 6. That's how you drive. Whether you're a forward or a D, you're not going to a post. You go to the middle. And so I appreciated the year. All of my sense of loss was gone probably about the middle to late August last year when I started going through the video of the season.
Right side, Doug.
Coach, another potential closeout game tomorrow night on home ice. Anything you've seen from your group, maybe that they've learned having been in these situations before, and what kind of game do you expect here in Game 6 tomorrow night?
I think it's just a continuation of what we've seen. I think the speed amps up, and the team that is closest to their identity wins, whether it's an elimination game or not. How fast and quick you can get to your identity wins the game.
We'll take one more question back right.
Good morning. If I can add to that, you said earlier that when your team is playing the way it's supposed to play, you're enjoying the game a little bit more. Did you feel that? To what extent did you feel that was the case yesterday, and how satisfied are you with the way you were able to shut them down?
I really liked the start of the third period, because I thought that was the block of time up until we took the penalty. That was the way we like to look. I thought we were smart and we were fast. I think my enjoyment of the game, and this is new for me, comes from my understanding that I'm not that important here. And I mean that. I'm not. There's a great line. Don't be so humble. You're not that good. It's the players, and when they're going, they don't need me, right? And if they're not, they kind of need you a little bit. But these guys have figured that out anyway. So I have been able to take it in a little bit more, because I haven't taken a stride this series, and I won't block a shot. I don't have to take a hit, so there's not much for me to do.
Thank you for your time,
Okay.
Coach.
Okay, guys. Safe travel.